Hi again, Cymru Boy here. I'm just uploading a quick video on the use of a captive ring tool. After watching Brendan Bacon Soda when he showed us the wedding goblet that he was doing and the methods that he uses to remove the ring from the goblet stem. You can use the Allen key method, you can also use the skew chisel method. But the ring tool does what it says on the can. It actually is a great assistance and it makes removing the captive ring a lot easier. Obviously practice makes perfect, so the more times that you use it, or the more times that I use it, the better hopefully I will become at it. The reason of uploading the video is that I actually looked on YouTube and couldn't find a video of anybody actually using the captive ring tool. Now, it's not rocket science, I appreciate, but there are little techniques with everything that you do, and I thought I might pick up a few hints and tips, but alas, no. So I thought I'd upload this. I'm going to mount a scrap bit of wood on the lathe, and I'll just go through the method that I use with the tool, and also how to keep it in sort of tip-top condition, if you like, which again is no big deal. It's very easy to maintain. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I welcome any comments and criticisms, because any criticism and any ideas that are posted will benefit me and anybody else that watches the video, and that's the whole idea of the upload. So I hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to hearing your comments. Okay, so we've got a piece of wood here, and there's one captive ring which I've already done. And I'm just going to go through the process of using the ring tool. To keep them sharp, all you need to do is there are your cutting edges, and it's a scraping motion and a hooking motion where it's scraping, it's not actually cutting. So you just need to keep those two edges at the end of the bevel nice and sharp. You don't need to go to the grinding stone. All you need to do is to hone them. You can either hone them with a diamond stone, a slip stone, making sure that the stone is in contact with the cutting edge and the back of the bevel, and just literally give it a few light strokes as you would on a skew chisel, just to hone up the edge. They do say in the instructions that you don't need to sharpen on the stone at all. So the preferred method I have is a strop, and this strop I fix into my vise, and I literally do it about half a dozen times that way, and then I can't do it because of the camera, but the same on the other side, just to hone the edges up, and that keeps it nice and sharp. So the method that they suggest, which I've tried, I've been practicing it for a little while, and it obviously works. You take a parting tool and you form your bead with regards to square shoulders, etc. Basically you're forming a disc. So we'll put the machine on and we'll just do that. And they also suggest that the shoulder width from the bead is twice that of the width of the bead, and that will give you sufficient room to work the tool. So there really is a minimal amount of waste, and as you get more experienced, I'm sure you'll be able to work with less of a gap as you get more experience with the tool. I certainly hope I will. So let's get on with it and see how it goes. Bead, let's say there, that's the width of the bead. So take it down as near as you can same, and then about just over half on either side, just over half the width of the parting tool again, and then that gives you some room to work in. Now that shoulder is a little bit higher, so we'll just bring that down so it's virtually the same as the other one. Then you need to round over the edge of your bead, and just taking a spindle gouge just round the edges and form the shape of the bead. Too accurate at this stage, because obviously before you part that bead off you sand it. So what I would do at this stage now, I would sand this to get a nice round profile. If I wasn't doing a demonstration and I was actually doing it, you'd have to sit and watch me do the whole thing. But what I would do is take a little bit more time possibly to get a nice round edge there. I'm only doing this for demonstration purposes, so you know how to use the tool. Now in actual fact, looking at this, I could go down a bit further, otherwise my ring is going to be fairly fat. So what I'm going to do is go down a little bit more, just to see, and now you get a catch. Now you take your ring tool and you start to undercut in a scraping motion underneath. Where you feel you want it to start, move in. Same on the other side. Now when you're nearly through, my suggestion is, before you get through, it's still got quite a way to go yet, is to sand and finish as far down as you can to where the inner circle begins, because once it's loose you're not going to be able to do that very easily, if at all. So all the sanding and the finishing will be done on the top. So then when you undercut, when Brendan was showing us his wonderful goblet that he did, the wedding goblet, he mentioned quite rightly so that the 1/2 inch is the better of the two, or the 13mm, call it what you will, because it has a greater radius there, which means when you're undercutting you're not going to be marking your finished top part of the ring. The smaller one, even on a fairly small ring like this, as you can see, it's going to be taking the top. Okay, so you could just about use it on a ring that size, I would think. You could just about use it, but the problem is when you go around underneath there, this corner is going to be catching and you're going to be making a groove in the top. So this is really, for me, a waste of money, but for very small rings then this would be okay. But for what I would term a normal size ring or bigger, this is brilliant because it has a lot of leeway there. When you're going round, you're going underneath, and you're not going to be catching this with that edge. The other thing I would say to you is when you're going in, and when you're coming out, the tendency is to pull out this way, because then you've got to catch, and it could actually break the ring. So when you have finished the side you're working on, as you're retracting the tool, my advice is to keep this part of the tool up against the shoulder. Reason being is it's going to come out in the same way. That way you're not going to foul anything and break your ring. And the same on the other side. You're going in, when you're coming out, when you finish cutting, it's always, I don't know, it's a natural reaction almost, where you want to sort of pull away, and if you do that, you're going to be hooking it underneath there. With the pressure, it could split the ring, especially if you're right down nearly parting it off. So my suggestion and advice is, when you finish doing the side you're doing, and then going on to the other side, as you pull away, keep this part of the tool up against the shoulder, and bring it out that way. And that way you're not going to be touching the ring on exit. So we'll finish taking that off. Now, my advice is always to keep checking, because if it comes off and you're not expecting it, it could give you a bit of a, you could give it a bit of a start and you could ruin it. You can tell the sound pitch is changing and it's nearly there, and in actual fact I could actually break it off now, but I'm going to use the tool and hopefully I'll be able to just get rid of a little bit of excess before it comes free. A bit more there. There we go, and your ring is free. Okay, so now all is left is to sand the inside of the ring, bearing in mind that that shoulder there won't be there, because while it was still attached to the shoulder, you have actually sanded all that down to about that point there, just there where you were actually parting it from the shoulder. So all that is done and finished. So you've only got the underneath to do, and then the best way, and the only way possibly, is to attach tape to here, your abrasive to there, and on a very low speed, to turn the speed of the lathe right down like you would for any sanding job, and then literally while you have the sandpaper attached to the shaft, you literally move your ring around. You can move it side to side, but be careful, watch what you're doing in a circular motion to get the donut effect underneath as well, so you haven't got a ridge on the inside. Now the beauty of using the ring tool compared, the captive ring tool, as I said, compared to the skew chisel, is that you waste a minimal amount of timber, of wood. So you can make 2, maybe 3 rings on your one goblet, depending how long your stem is, of course. And the beauty of it is, as Brendan mentioned when he was showing us his goblet, is that if you do mess one up and you break it or whatever, you have more timber there, you have more wood there to make another ring or 2 rings if you should so wish, without making the stem proportionately much too long for the goblet you're making. So that's basically it, and then you would finish off the inside, and then when you're turning the rest of the goblet, I am going to do another video on a goblet, because I'm going to try a 3 ringed goblet at some stage. Then you merely tape that and you carry on working, because they will run up and down. But I think they're a great thing, and they're a great feature on any goblet, and if you've got 2 of them on there, they're brilliant. It looks very good. Well, thanks very much for watching. I hope it's been of some use, and if comments are forthcoming, then I would appreciate them. If somebody can turn around and say, well, you should have done it this way, should have done it that way, then that only helps me, and then hopefully helps anybody else that reads the comments. So thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Cheerio now.